Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're working on this again, but we're making a strut brace this time. Turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, to the footage. Don't really have that much room in here, but that's all right. It'll be sweet. Okay, just for something a bit different, we're going to work on the rx8 again. This time, we're doing the strut braces. So I had these cut through work. They actually came out quite mint. That one's already on. And this one's just a little bit tight up over here. But that's, I don't know what that is. That's all right. I'll just grind a little bit off that. So I'm going to get these bolted down and then need to make the call whether we run the bars across the top of the exhaust along through here and down to there, or we actually run behind the exhaust. I would prefer to run it in front, just so, I don't know, it's more of a straight line instead of bending back to the firewall, but I guess we'll see how we get on. So got it down with a little bit of persuasion, so that's all good. So still looking at this, I do want to run it definitely across the front. That takes away from this big ugly gap there. So in order to do that, I'm going to run the back bar first and try and tuck it as far forward as I can of that exhaust, and then run it to the back side of that plate there. I also need to make a little piece off there that's going to support my brake booster. Surprisingly, that actually works really well. So I'm going to go start cutting some steel, and I'll get that bar close. Just going to cut a piece of steel here. And I'm roughly going to bend it there and there. I've got to try and keep it even, otherwise it looks like dog. But with those bends, I should be able to kick it back to the back side of that plate there. As for material, I always use 15 nominal bore. It's a medium wall pipe. I've never had any problems with this, and I've made quite a few braces. I mean, this one here is still strong as. So I'll get those bends underway and get it stitched in there, then I should be able to build the rest of it out of the car. So far I'm pretty happy with this. It's I had to put a second kink here and just over there because it was just hitting the top of that wastegate pipe. But at the moment I've got, yeah, about 15 mil clearance on that. This will get hot, I'm aware of that, but oh, don't really care. But I actually quite like the way it tucks around the exhaust like this. It should look all right. Second bar, I'm not sure yet. I might just come from up here and just have it hugging this one all the way through. I used to try and get quite fancy with the strut braces, but sometimes simple is better, I guess. I still need to also bring something off here and then just have a bolt stopper here that will be held onto this, and that will just stop the master cylinder moving when you push the brake pedal. So far so good. I've jumped a little bit ahead now. I've got the second bar in. I decided to close it up, as you can tell. I just didn't want to spread it, you know, that's nice and strong as it is. I did have a little faux pas here. It was just slightly off on angle, so I just put a little relief cut in there and just rocked it around a little bit. But that should still be fine. It's got the strength of the other bar in there as well. So moving on, I've now got to bring something up around here somehow, and then I'm going to have a bolt with a nut, the locking nut on it, that's going to actually put pressure onto the end of this. Not sure exactly how I'm going to do it yet, but I might just go bend some bits of steel and then see what I come up with. All right, so this is what I've got going on. just got this bar here running across to there, and I've got a fridge there. None of that's welded at the moment, but I'll weld this up, I'll weld that nut up here, and then I'm just going to put a bar back into here somehow. Looks pretty weird, but once again, it's function over form. So gone and tacked it all up. Not really feeling it. It's odd, to be honest. This whole bit here, I was originally going to have this part onto this bar, but it just looks stupid, so I brought it out to here, which doesn't look much better, to be honest. But I suppose it's doing its job, and if that looks weird, that bracket down there sure as hell looks weird. So I suppose we're going for the theme of weird brackets, I guess. But I'll weld this up tomorrow and paint it red or black. Probably red. I don't really want to, but oh, you can't even see it. But because the roll cage is red, kind of makes sense for that to be red too. And this is all working too. So that's adjusted right out onto there and locked off with the locking nut. So a little bit more work to go, and then I can put a big tick through this as well. All right, it's the next day. I'm going to peel this off now and fully blaze her up, give it a clean down with some meths or something like that, and more than likely going to spray it red. Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a bit tight to get it off this side, but it'll come off. Well, okay, surprisingly not. It popped straight off, so which is good. I will actually grind a little bit of that face there, because it is just touching a bracket inside the car just ever so slightly. So I'm going to go ahead now, weld this all up. There's not much really to do, and then slap some paint on it. Well, it's all welded, but what a dog. Something was wrong with my tungsten. It's, I don't know if it's contaminated or what, but I had welded 3 cores of this and just kept battling porosity and whatnot. Changed my gas, changed everything, changed the pressure, and it ended up being the freaking tungsten. Swapped it out, welded mint after that, but damage was done. Thank goodness for sanders. Pissed off. But anyway, I'm going to paint this one up and let it dry and then slap it back on the car. Somewhat happy with this. It looks a little bit better now it's painted. It's very small compared to the one that I used to have in here, but it'll work. I got the bracket made up to the brake master, so that's all good. Everything actually bolted down real nice. It slid in, slid out, so that's all good. And yeah, besides a few little issues with the paint, it'll be fine. Managed to get some vacuum lines just temporarily mocked up for now. And next for this car, I need to do my oil filler down here. I'm actually thinking of building a reservoir type jobby up in here with a AN line that runs down and straight into the engine, so you actually fill your oil from up there. I did manage to get a weld on cap from Alien Speed Parts. It's actually quite nice, so that will just sit on top of the reservoir and then just pour from there. So pretty happy with the strut brace. As I said, I've made heaps of strut braces over the years, and they're not that hard. They're pretty straightforward. Once you have a drawing for the plate and you just got a basic material, basic tools, you can easily make one. I think this one here, yeah, that didn't even take me long. There is one set that I made for my GTO years and years ago that I'd love to have back. So if anyone knows where they are, I'll be more than willing to pay for them. I don't have a GTO obviously to put them on, but they can just live on the wall somewhere. I'll put a picture of them up now. Yeah, so that's about where we're at now. I'm going to try and lay off the RX8 content for the next couple of weeks because I've just been flooding my channel with this car. But if I don't, then I don't work on it. So it's just motivation for me. But yeah, awesome. Thanks again. Every time I spray red stuff in my garage, this car just gets cagged. Oh, time for another wash.